Okay, so another thing that you can do with these frames is you can do it one at a time and you can make things move. But you have to make a layer for each movement because if I cut the ghost in half, then it's going to do it to all of them. So you can make frames one at a time and add your movement. So right now I have the background and then I go, and this is something you'll probably use for your big project. So I'm going to make a new layer, a new frame, and I'm going to say new frame. And then I can turn on the layers of whatever I want to happen, right? So my new layer is I want number 10, but I'm going to make it in a position that's over here. So I'm actually going to reverse these layers so that they'll be the way that I want them. So I want my layers to be, well, it doesn't really matter. So if I start from the top, so if I have number 10 showing, but I want it to be over here, then I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to duplicate 10, and I'm going to call it 10 first. And I'm going to move 10 first. So I'm going to hide this one, and I'm going to move 10 first over here. So it's just coming out of the wall. And I'm going to cut this part off. So I still have the other 10, and it's still in the other place. So I'm going to cut this off. This is 10 first. And I'm going to cut this part off because I don't want it. It's looking like it's coming through the wall. So then I make another, oops, did I do it on the wrong one? Oh, the other thing is when you do this though, what it'll do is it'll like do all kinds of strange things. So I want this layer to have nothing showing. So 1 is nothing. 2 is the 10 first layer. So now I have 1, 2. The thing is that when you do this, it'll put the last thing you did on all the layers and you have to hide it. So it's kind of annoying. So then I have 10, 1, and I'm going to make a new frame. And I'm going to hide 10 first. And I'm going to make a copy of 20. So I'm going to duplicate that layer. And I'm going to call this 20 second. Because this is my 20 in the second position. I'm going to hide this other 20. So now I have to go back to all the layers before, hide 20 second. So I have 1, 2, that has 10 first showing, and then 3 is 20 second. So I need to move that over. So I'm gonna move this guy over to like here. So I have 1, 2, 3, and I want it to be over a little bit. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I have 20 second. It is a little confusing. And then the next layer, new frame. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't want 20 second to show. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want that to be 30. I'm going to duplicate that. Third. I'm going to unhide that. So now I have 1, 2, 3, It's better to not make your layer and then change it. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll end right there. Okay, so now I'm going to make the new layer. So create new frame, and I'm hiding third, and I'm putting on fourth. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm just going to leave them. So how many more do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So I'm going to add 6 more frames. I think you can do an insert frame. No. I thought you could. I guess not. So this is going to be 4. No, this is 4. And this is going to be 5, right? So 3, 4, 5. Nope, it's 6. 1. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the next one's going to be 70. New frame. New frame. New frame. So this was 7, 8. So this should be 9, 90. And then the next frame will be 100%. New frame. So now I have 100, 90, 80, 70, 60. So it's nowhere, then it starts coming out of the wall, and then it moves over to here, and it shows itself, and now I'm going to make it go back. So I'm going to copy these frames, but I'm going to change out the ones coming from the wall. So I'm going to just copy these, copy frames, go to the end, paste frames after selection, but I need to reverse them. So scroll over and then reverse frames. Okay, so I'm here. I don't need this to stay. Well, I could, it'll just stay longer. And so it goes 11, 12. So now I don't want it to move. So now I'm going to change this to regular 30. And I'm going to change this to regular 20. And I'm going to change this to regular 10. So now it's going to, and I'm just going to play it once. So if we go back to the beginning, and I play it, comes out of the wall, shows itself, and goes away. Oh, I need a copy of, or I can just make a new frame at the end. And that one needs to not show anything except for the background. So now let's go back to the beginning. Play. Comes out of the wall, shows itself, goes away. Comes out of the wall, shows itself, goes away. It was a little bit complicated, but that's kind of how you have to do it. You have to You have to go in and you have to check this and check. You have to check your layers, and you have to check your frames, and you have to kind of like monitor each one and show what you want to show. And sometimes if you make a new frame, it's going to show what's ever on the frame that was before it. So you have to turn that layer off to hide that thing. I know it's complicated, but it gets even more complicated. But really, you really don't have to get that much more complicated than this. I'm just going to expect your final drawing to have a pretty nice drawing in the background so that it looks really awesome. All right.